I walked into that child custody nightmare with no map, no guide, just this gnawing anxiety twisting in my gut. Every choice felt like stepping on a landmine. You never know which way it will blow. Trust was gone. I couldn't even guess how she'd respond. And then, like lightning across a midnight sky, Christine dropped that post. A single photo, blurry, hastily snapped, but one phrase jumped off the screen: 6 figures. Instantly, phones vibrated across America. Conversations froze mid-word. Hearts skipped. Panic radiated from Phoenix to London. Inside minutes, Kody was a storm in human form. Airport staff whisper about him gripping his phone until his knuckles turned white, muttering about controlling the narrative while refreshing every feed, every notification a dagger to his pride. Somewhere, his anger mixed with fear, a cocktail no one could bottle. That photo wasn't just a leak, it was an ignition. The paragraph it came from detailed threats, veiled for years, suddenly screaming in black and white. The whispers claim it's tied to back support, Utah court orders, money Kody never wanted to acknowledge publicly. Fans dissected every pixel, turning digital blur into full-blown outrage. Social media detectives cataloged past episodes, every boast about cars, every claim about support, feeding the frenzy. Christine didn't stop. Half an hour later, she vanished the post, but the chaos didn't end, it escalated. Kody's followers were in denial, Christine's supporters were celebrating, and somewhere in the middle, producers were reportedly smirking, marketing gold delivered on a silver platter. The rumor mill churned faster. The next revelation wouldn't be money. A voicemail, allegedly saved by Christine, waiting to expose raw fury Kody thought private. Hours later, Christine was in the studio, headphones snug, manuscript like sacred scripture, voice trembling at moments too painful to read aloud. Every pause was deliberate, every breath a warning. This might break the internet. She recorded the audiobook herself, ensuring the tremor of truth, the lived experience, was preserved in her own voice. The schedule was brutal, 5 straight days of marathon sessions. But the leak had already exploded pre-orders, forcing the publisher into a second print run before sunrise. Stakes couldn't be higher. Kody's fear wasn't just about the money. Utah loomed, unforgiving. A state that could strip access, drain accounts, let new husbands or greedy boyfriends wield power over his children and his cash. His meltdown wasn't just rumor. It was legal panic in human form. Meanwhile, the manuscript contained passages the public hasn't seen, comparing his on-camera persona with private threats, documenting moments where faith and authority blurred into control and silence. Lawyers pored over every adjective like it was landmine mapping. Meanwhile, Robin and Yanel weren't just bystanders, they were actors in this unfolding storm. Spreadsheets, receipts, Instagram teasers, every luxury purchase, every doll, every item funneled into online scrutiny. Social media amplified every mistake, every misstep. Every doll sold, every chandelier charged became ammunition for a public narrative that Kody couldn't silence. Christine's voice memos reportedly captured fury, threats, and regrets Kody couldn't retract. One snippet allegedly begins with him lashing out over $100,000, warning, promising, snarling. Those files, encrypted, are ready to enter evidence if legal action moves. One insider whispers, "It's more than memoir, it's proof." A storm is quietly gathering, invisible to the casual observer, but deadly to those caught in the middle. Flagstaff burned quietly in the background. Garnishments ticking toward 0 hour. Payrolls rerouted, luxury assets tracked, every purchase a potential trigger. Courts enforce, lawyers draft, producers film, social media erupts, all converging into one unstoppable collision. The kids, mostly bystanders, watched grown-ups scramble as if reality itself had fractured into thousands of digital shards. And Christine? She's calm, precise, methodical. Recording, documenting, pausing, noting every clue, every inconsistency. Even the smallest acts, a milkshake run, a therapy session approved, became proof that the narrative was shifting. Meanwhile, Kody's empire, fragile as spun glass, teetered on bridge loans, garnishments, and public shaming. Every whisper of a voicemail, every leaked manuscript line, Every social media reaction piled onto the pressure like snow on a cliff ready to avalanche. As night falls, the stage is set. First garnishment hits in 14 days. Every dollar, every threat, every whisper of revenge converges. Will he pay? Will he find a loophole? Or will the consequences explode in real time for the world to watch? One thing is certain, this isn't just a custody dispute. This is a slow-motion implosion of power, money, and family, and Christine's pen is guiding the chaos. Every chapter, every revelation, every document threatens to rewrite history, and the audience is watching, waiting, hungry for every word. And somewhere in the shadows, Kody's next move is the only question left. Can he outrun what's coming, or has the avalanche already started? I stepped into that custody battle like walking blindfolded through a minefield. Every decision felt like it could explode, every text, every call a potential trigger. Trust? Gone. Hope? Flickering like a dying candle. And then, without warning, Christine dropped a single image online. A grainy shot, barely legible, yet the message hit like a cannon. 6 figures. That tiny, blurred fragment made phones vibrate from Phoenix to London, sparking whispers, panic, and disbelief. Kody, by all accounts, became a living storm. Reports say he stormed through the Phoenix airport, jaw tight, phone clutched until his knuckles went white, muttering about controlling the story while refreshing feeds obsessively. Each ping felt like a new threat, a dagger to pride he couldn't defend. The world outside him blurred. His focus narrowed to the post, the number, the humiliation. The leaked paragraph allegedly revealed decades of hidden tension, a threat disguised as warning, now laid bare. Fans obsessed over it, comparing it with court filings, past interviews, and even the tiniest detail from old episodes. Social media detectives counted every car Kody claimed he bought, every boast about money, as if it could explain, justify, or soften the incoming storm. And the storm had only begun. Christine didn't wait for chaos to settle. She pulled the post, but the damage was done. Panic spread, conversations erupted, analysts debated the legal fallout, and behind the scenes, producers reportedly saw it as free publicity gold. Rumors swirled. The next revelation wasn't just money, it was a voicemail, recorded by Christine, capturing Kody's private fury, waiting to emerge like a time bomb. By the evening, Christine was already in the studio. Headphones snug, manuscript spread like sacred text, pausing only to breathe, absorb, and prepare for what could break the internet. The schedule was grueling, days of non-stop recording, but the pre-order spike made every hour worth it. Meanwhile, Kody's anxiety didn't rest. Utah loomed, unforgiving, merciless, ready to enforce garnishments and limit access to his children. And insiders whispered that the manuscript held details no one outside that room had seen. Private rants, threats, unedited moments, and a glimpse into a control that had long simmered beneath the public surface. By the next morning, the fallout had metastasized. Phones buzzed non-stop. Group chats erupted with speculation. Social media detectives tore apart every frame, every hashtag, every half-second clip for hidden meaning. Somewhere in Phoenix, Kody was reportedly pacing, phone glued to his hand, voice low but sharp, muttering about loans, garnishments, and what might surface next. The number on that post wasn't just a sum. It was a symbol of everything he had tried to hide, and now it was public. Christine didn't flinch. Sources say she slipped into the recording studio again, manuscripts in hand, each page a calculated weapon. Headphones on, voice calm yet charged with tension, she began capturing the audiobook, preserving the tremor of lived experience in every word. Each pause, each inhale, weighed like a hammer. Producers allegedly called it marketing gold, but insiders insist it was more, a slow, deliberate strike at a fortress Kody thought untouchable. Rumors about the voicemail began circulating. Allegedly, Kody had left it the night the court ruled on back support, a private rant saved like a time capsule. Friends close to Christine say she listened to it, then paused, gripping the phone tighter, whispering, "If this goes public, it's over." Every legal footnote, every careful annotation in her manuscript hinted at exactly what he said, where, and when. The tension wasn't just narrative, it was real. Meanwhile, Utah's machinery creaked into motion. Garnishments, payroll deductions, legal notices, they didn't wait. Every delayed payment threatened automatic withdrawals. Kody's options shrank by the hour. Rumors swelled of last-minute bridge loans, emergency calls, and negotiations with private financiers to stay ahead. But the clock didn't care. State rules moved faster than panic or pride. And while Kody scrambled, the family ecosystem shifted. Robin allegedly loaded boxes, scanned receipts, and quietly prepared for contingencies, while Yanel and Mary watched, emojis and cryptic messages flying across group chats. Every small act became a statement, every luxury purchase a potential trigger. The optics were brutal. As garnishments loomed, displays of wealth screamed accountability, each move fueling the narrative Christine was orchestrating with precision. The storm wasn't contained to private spaces. Fans watched, dissected, debated. Every post, every image, every snippet of leaked content became part of a digital chessboard where Kody's moves were tracked, analyzed, and amplified. And somewhere behind it all, Christine's manuscript and voice memos loomed like unseen missiles, ready to drop at any moment. The tension was palpable. Would Kody pay on time? Could he maneuver around the mounting legal pressure? Or was this just the beginning, a slow unraveling that would leave every private conversation, every hidden threat, and every whispered threat exposed for the world to see? Kody's flight to Dallas wasn't just a layover, it was a desperate dash. Sources say he landed late at night, man bun visible from 2 rows back, straight to a waiting black SUV. No luggage claim, no casual hellos, just tense phone calls and whispers about money wired before noon. Rumor has it he sped to a sleek office park in Addison, negotiating a short-term bridge loan against future earnings. Every second mattered. The clock in Utah was ticking mercilessly. Meanwhile, Christine's camp was already anticipating the fallout. The memoir wasn't just a book, it was a living threat, each page, each memo, each carefully documented moment holding potential legal weight. Behind the scenes, lawyers were allegedly reviewing her files, cross-referencing manuscripts with recordings, marking every word Kody might regret, and preparing for the first legal tremor to hit. Back in Flagstaff, tension ran high. Robin reportedly spent hours scanning receipts, packing delicate collectibles, and quietly strategizing. Every luxury item, from shabby chic chandeliers to limited edition doll wardrobes, became a focal point for scrutiny. Fans speculated, analysts debated, and social media churned relentlessly. Each post a signal, each rumor a new arrow in the digital storm. Kody's options were shrinking. Utah garnishments move fast. One missed payment could trigger automatic deductions, siphoning funds directly from salaries, bank accounts, even investment dividends. Insiders whisper that the first deduction was just days away, and the potential consequences of missing it would ripple across his finances. Panic, strategy, and fear collided in a maelstrom that no private equity maneuver could fully control. Meanwhile, Christine's team documented everything. Every voicemail, every tense phone call, every document tied to finances or custody became a time-stamped record. Sources say some of these memos captured Kody's fury, threats, and desperation, proof that could transform a shocking story into legal ammunition. Even minor gestures, trueless therapy approvals, milkshake runs, or private family moments, were now part of a broader narrative, one meticulously orchestrated to show imbalance, neglect, and mismanagement. As the night deepened, Kody reportedly paced the driveway, phone pressed to his ear, silhouette jagged against the porch light. The first garnishment loomed, contracts and loans intertwined, stakes higher than ever. The tension was electric. Would he manage to navigate the legal and financial storm, or was every hurried step just pushing him closer to public humiliation and irreversible consequences? The stage was set. Christine's manuscript, voicemails, and careful documentation waited like silent predators. Kody's scramble for liquidity, his Dallas dash, and the looming garnishments promised fireworks the public had never seen before. And somewhere amid it all, social media waited, hungry for each detail, each slip, each revelation, ready to amplify the chaos in real time. Flagstaff woke to a storm that no one could ignore. Robin's blinds stayed shut for hours, the driveway empty save for a loan donation truck idling, ready to carry off carefully packed boxes. Observers whispered that inside those battered containers were receipts, private credit card statements, and luxury collectibles, the kind of items that now screamed scrutiny and financial reckoning. Every chandelier, velvet fainting couch, and limited edition doll wardrobe became symbolic ammunition, proof of excess amidst looming garnishments. Meanwhile, Kody paced like a coiled spring, phone glued to his ear, manila envelope clutched in hand. Insiders claim the envelope contained notices that would trigger Utah's automatic wage withholding, set to activate in just 14 days. One misstep, one delayed payment, and the state could reach into salaries, bank accounts, even investment dividends. Panic was a physical presence, his heart racing, mind spinning with last-minute bridge loan calculations, phone calls, and private equity negotiations. Robin reportedly fired back at Kody when confronted about liquidating assets, insisting these are mine, while Kody snapped, then liquidate them. Observers described the tension as tangible, an audible crack in the family alliance that had seemed unbreakable for years. Every item sold or moved wasn't just money. It was a signal, a story, a weapon in the unfolding legal and social war. The kids felt it too. Truly and Isabel were caught in the emotional current, small gestures amplified into lessons in fairness and consequence. Therapy sessions previously paid out of Christine's own pocket were suddenly approved, thanks to garnishments finally activating. Private moments, a milkshake run, small victories, tiny celebrations, took on public significance, each one proof that Christine had been proactive while Kody scrambled to react. Social media erupted as fans tracked every movement, every shipment, every whispered phone call. Memes, screenshots, and speculation amplified the chaos, turning each luxurious or frantic act into a public narrative that Kody could neither contain nor control. The optics were merciless. Each doll, each chandelier, each carefully orchestrated move highlighted the growing divide between family obligations and perceived indulgence. Behind the scenes, Christine's manuscript and audio recordings waited like ticking bombs. Every voicemail, every tense conversation, every detail she captured could provide proof of threats, mismanagement, or neglect. Insiders say some recordings are ready to enter legal channels, transforming what seemed like memoir storytelling into potential courtroom evidence. The first garnishment notice, set to land by certified mail, was the trigger point, the opening act in a sequence of financial and emotional consequences Kody could no longer evade. By nightfall, Flagstaff was silent but charged, every movement shadowed with tension. Christine's team prepared for the next steps, Kody calculated, Robin maneuvered, and the state's mechanisms waited patiently, automatic, impartial, inevitable. The family's private life had become a public chessboard, and every piece moved, every document shifted, every dollar counted. What would happen when the first automatic draft hit? Would Kody pay, or would the dominoes fall? Loans, garnishments, and public scrutiny, turning months of careful control into chaos? One thing was certain. The storm had only begun. Every action, every reaction, every whispered threat was a countdown to the moment when personal decisions, legal rules, and social exposure collided in full view of an audience that had been waiting for this implosion for years. And in the middle of it all, Christine watched, documented, and waited, knowing that every secret, every misstep, and every hidden truth was about to become public. The day of reckoning arrived quietly, but the tension could be sliced with a knife. A certified envelope landed at Kody's doorstep. Inside, the state's first automatic garnishment notice. No warnings, no delays, just an unavoidable countdown that threatened to drain salaries, bank accounts, and investment income. Observers say Kody's jaw tightened, fists clenched, pacing the porch as if movement alone could reverse the inevitable. Meanwhile, somewhere in a soundproof studio, Christine prepared her ultimate reveal. She cupped the phone, replayed the voicemail Kody had left the night of the court ruling. A voice raw with fury, every word dripping with threats, every pause weighted with regret he didn't yet realize he could never retract. "You dragged me to court for 6 figures, he allegedly growled, "and I will make sure nobody buys your sad little book. Do not test me." Every syllable, captured in Christine's private memos, was a time-stamped testament of intent, a record of rage that could now meet the cold certainty of the legal system. Flagstaff buzzed beneath the surface. Robin's blinds remained tight, donation trucks discreetly emptied luxury items, and every movement amplified online. Fans dissected Instagram posts, Reddit threads exploded with speculation, and hashtags about accountability, debts, and payback trended relentlessly. Every doll sold, every receipt posted, every whispered phone call became part of a narrative no one could ignore. Kody scrambled desperately. Sources say he tried one last-minute maneuver. Bridge loans, emergency negotiations, even private equity maneuvers, but Utah's garnishment system waited like a predator, automatic and unyielding. And with Christine's voice memos ready to expose private threats, every misstep threatened legal, financial, and public fallout simultaneously. At the same time, small gestures became amplified symbols. Truly and Isabel's therapy sessions, previously covered in private, were suddenly officially approved. Milkshake runs, small celebrations, even tiny acknowledgments of fairness were documented and highlighted online. Fans, analysts, and insiders interpreted each as proof of Christine's proactive approach and Kody's scrambling reactive state. By evening, social media had ignited. Screenshots, clips, and memes transformed the unfolding family drama into a real-time spectacle. Hashtags about payment, fairness, and accountability surged. Public pressure mounted while private anxiety reached a fever pitch. Kody's envelope sat unopened or barely touched. Robin's careful cataloging of assets highlighted a fracture in unity, and Christine's recordings loomed like a sword over the entire operation. It was a perfect storm, legal, financial, and emotional, all colliding in a public space where every small action became fodder for speculation. And the voicemail? Christine held it like a secret weapon. Every word, every pause, every threat captured in cold clarity, was a reminder that the truth was now documented and unstoppable. The first garnishment hit. Money shifted, control wavered, and the social media firestorm confirmed what everyone suspected. The Brown family's carefully curated image had fractured. The audience watched, mesmerized and horrified, as months of control, pride, and secrecy evaporated under the glare of legal certainty, digital scrutiny, and an unstoppable memoir launch. And in the middle of it all, Christine's calm resolve, meticulous documentation, and voice recordings ensured that nothing would be hidden, nothing would be avoided, and the implosion that had been quietly building for years finally hit with unstoppable momentum.